Anyways, Martin Buday versus Marcus Buchecha. This is Marcus Buchecha's UFC debut. Um, so there's going to be no stats on him. Basically, he's 5-1. Lost to Rug, who I believe fights in one championship. Uh, I believe he's in the Jiu-Jitsu Hall of Fame. He's getting a little overrated by MMA fans just because they don't really like. It seems like people don't really seem to like Martin Buday. Regardless, I'm still picking Buchecha. I'm going to take him by round 2 submission. Um, I'm not too familiar with Buchecha. I did see that Rug fight, and he kind of got worked a little bit, but Martin Buday didn't impress me his last fight. Um, the dude couldn't outmuscle. He barely outmuscled a short notice light heavyweight. Legit, I think it was like a week's notice. So Buday hasn't impressed me too much. He hasn't lost the horrible guys. I mean, he lost the Shmuel Gaziev. And as much as the memes like to tell you otherwise, Shmuel's actually decent for a heavyweight. But I'm going to take Buchecha by round 2 sub. I think Buday is going to try to. I think Buday's style will kind of get in your face and just applying the pressure. I think that's going to work with him, and I think that's going to end up with him getting taken down. Um, so yeah, I'm going to take Buchecha by round 2 sub. Mohamed Yahya versus Steven Nguyen, I believe. Um, Yahya is only on the roster still because he's the only fighter from Abu Dhabi. Um, he is not good. Um, Steven's a 4-1 favorite, I believe. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. I'm taking Steven by round 1 TKO. Um, I think he's going to get him on the ground and then finish him with ground and pound. Um, I think he might take him down to get him to the ground. But Yaya did not have a good cut. He kind of looked soft and drained at the same time, which was a little weird. I don't know. There's not much to talk about this one. Yaya has not done anything significant in the UFC so far, so I'm taking Steven by round 1 TKO. Ibo Aslan versus Billy Elikana. This one's interesting. Because Ibo has the potential to just go out there and kind of, you know how he is. He's a wild brawler. He very well has the potential just to run out there, guns blazing, and knock out Billy in round 1. I'm actually going to take Elikana by round 2 submission. Elikana had Guskov's back for almost a whole round. I actually picked him against Guskov for some reason, just because I kind of wanted to see the underdog win. Um, which I wasn't doing official picks back then, so I get a bit of a break. But Billy's pretty dang good. He's a slick grappler. MMA Guru compared him to Charles Oliveira when it comes to his finishing ability. I don't fully agree with that. I think Charles is definitely a more pronounced finisher. But I think if you're getting submitted, and I mean MMA math does not work, but I think if you're getting submitted by Ion Cutelaba, I think Billy Elikana, who's a more not prolific grappler, but that's more of his bread and butter. I think Billy's gonna weather a tough first round, then submit Ibo in the second. I think Ibo's gonna get sloppy and put himself in a bad spot, and I think it's gonna end up with Ibo getting submitted via rear naked choke. So yeah, I'm gonna go Billy Elikana by round 2 submission. I believe he's an underdog. I think he's like a 2 plus 280 underdog. So I think that's a good value on Billy right there. Okay. Amanda Ribas versus Tabitha Ritchie. Ritchie is a slight underdog as of right now. Not too particularly interested in this fight. I'm gonna go Richie. Um, I don't know. I think it's just gonna be, and we'll say she's gotten away with some sketchy decisions. I think it's just gonna be a 29-28, 29-28, 30-27 for Tabitha Ritchie, kind of a pitter patter kickboxing match. Um, Not super excited for this one. I hate to say it because everyone says it, but women's MMA has been going downhill. Ever since Joanna Jędrzejczyk retired, it's not been what it used to be. So, not super excited for this one. But I believe this is the only women's fight in the card. I'm kind of surprised there's even one because it's Abu Dhabi. Um, they're disgusted, disgusting women. But I'll just go Tabitha Ritchie by a decision. Davy Grant versus Damone Blackshear. Blackshear's stand-up looked better, albeit he faced not the best opponent his last fight, but his stand-up did look a good bit better in his last fight. Um, I'm rooting for Davy Grant, to be honest, just because, I mean, look at him. Just he looks like a history teacher. Like, I always like seeing the older guys win. Um, but I am going to take Damone Blackshear via decision. Um, he's the bigger fighter by a good bit. He's a pretty large bantamweight. Um, he's got size advantages pretty much everywhere. Besides leg reach, they're equal there. I think he's going to be able to mix in. I think the threat of the takedown is going to be the factor here. Damone's a pretty good grappler. Um, and I think that's going to keep Davey a little more reserved, a little less inclined to pull off a crack vet performance. So yeah, I'll take Damone Blackshear by 230-27s and 129-20. It should be a decent fight. Muslim Salikov versus Carlos Leal. This guy's a dog. He's basically undefeated in the UFC at this point. I think the Renat fight is a top 5 biggest robbery of all time. Salikov's coming off a really good KO at... It was the Peter Yan card, their Piotr Yan, which he's on the undercard of again. Came out with a really good spinning wheel kick KO. I believe he's the only fighter to ever have like 2 spinning wheel kick KOs in history or something like that. But I am taking Carlos Leal by round 1 TKO. He's just looking unstoppable right now. And Salikov is old. I believe he's 40, 39, 40. They were making a big deal about how old he was. I think there's a definite difference in physique here. Not that that always matters. But Carlos Leal is coming off a really vicious performance off of Alex Morono. I was kind of disappointed to see he got Salikov. I would have liked to see Leal potentially get into the ranking or get a fight in the rankings. But I think Leal is going to win this one pretty handedly. Might be a little bit more reserved since he's not fighting Alex Morono. He's fighting someone who can actually fight back. But yeah, I'll take Leal by round 1 TKO. I think he'll be a little bit more reserved and finish him towards the end of the round. He might even get an early round 2 TKO, but I'm taking Leal on this one. Bryce Mitchell versus Saeed Nurmagomedov. Or Nurmagomedov, you know what I mean. Both coming off losses. Bryce's I would say is a little bit more brutal. Coming off that nasty ninja choke from John Silva. But I am taking Bryce on this one. I think Saeed will win the first round and lose the other 2 and 3. The thing is, Saeed's pretty good, and he's got a really good. got all sorts of guillotines and whatnot. He's really good at the front chokes. Um, but man, his gas tank is not good. If he can't finish Bryce in round one, I think he's going to lose. And I don't think he is going to finish Bryce in round one. The only guy to do that recently was Josh Emmett, and Josh Emmett did it on a very short notice Bryce. So I'm going to take Bryce Mitchell by decision. I think he's going to win a 29-28 across the board. He's going to be a pretty good-sized bantamweight. He's 5'10". So he's kind of that Sean O'Malley size. He's not quite as lanky and not nearly as powerful nor proficient in striking. But I will take Bryce Mitchell in this one. Oh. I just realized. Oopsies. That should look a little better. I was just blocking the fighter on the right the whole time. My bad. Alright. Moving on. We got... I was surprised to see Guskov is a underdog in this fight. I think Guskov's going to knock Krylov out. I'm not thinking round one, but I am thinking round 2 TKO. I think Krylov's getting a little old, this thing, and I picked against Krylov, or I picked for Krylov at 314. I thought he was going to be able to grapple, or get the grappling game going off against Reyes, and finish him in the second round. That did not happen. He got knocked out in one round, not even. That kind of opened my eyes, because I think skill-wise Krylov is an extremely underrated fighter, but clearly his chin isn't holding up. And I think Guskov's got big power, and I think he's got the momentum. I think he's on a 3 or 4 fight win streak right now. He beat Billy Elicana his last fight. It wasn't really his fault that Johnny Walker pulled out. So, yeah, I'm taking Bogdan Guskov by round 2 TKO. I think the first round is going to be kind of a back and forth. They're feeling each other out. I think Guskov's going to catch Krylov on a... not a blitz, but I think he's going to catch him on a sloppy entry or something and hit him with a counter right or something like that. Something along the lines of that. I'm getting a little specific there. So yeah, and Guskov, last time I checked, was a plus 170 underdog, which I think is strange. Krylov could very well win, but I'm going to trust the power of Guskov more than the ability of Krylov. Asu Almabayev versus Jose Ochoa. This is my second fight that I'm most 50-50 on. I actually initially picked Asu up until yesterday. I'm deciding to go with Jose Ochoa. After I rewatched both their last fights. Ochoa did not beat the best fighter his last fight. I believe it was Cody Durden, Tyler Durden. I don't know. A Durden. Which Durden's got good grappling. I think it was Cody Durden, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Cody Durden. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. But I think the main factor of this fight is going to be the reach. Jose is significantly bigger. He's taller and lankier than Asu. And with Asu, I think Asu's is very good. But I think the Manel Cop fight kind of exposed him a bit, and that wasn't entirely his fault. He got eye poked really bad. I had to rewatch that fight because I was getting tattooed. I didn't get to watch it live. I was getting my chest tattoo. And But I did rewatch that fight, and it wasn't entirely Asu's fault, but I do think regardless he would have lost that fight. I think regardless he was getting outstruck pretty bad. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna take Jose Ochoa by third round TKO to a decision. I'm excited for this fight. I think flyweight's been shaping up to look really good recently. We got Jose Ochoa, even Asu's pretty exciting. We got Loner Kavanagh, probably going to break into the rankings in a fight or two. We got Joshua Van fighting for the belt sometime this year, or maybe early next year. I think flyweight's in pretty good shape right now, so I'm excited. This is one I'm not excited for. Shara by decision, I mean, bit of a layup. I think Mark is actually going to make it harder than people think, but I don't like Shara. I think that's no surprise. I don't like Shara Magomedov. I think he's kind of a piece of shit. Um, he's he's privileged. He's got. I don't fully believe in Dagestani privilege, but if it does exist, he has it. And actually, I mean, come to think of it, I kind of do think Dagestani privilege exists. Umar got a freaking title shot off of one ranked win. Islam got the title shot off of Bobby Green. Khabib got the belt off of Alan Quinta. Dagestani privilege does exist. So I'm going to take Shara by decision. I don't think he's going to knock out Mark, and if he does, it's going to be later in the fight. Not interested in this fight, to be honest. I'm just not. I've never really been too high on the Shara hype train. I picked Michael Venom Page to beat him. I don't know. Not my favorite fight of the night. This one probably is Marcus McGee versus Piotr Jan. I think people are. It's simultaneously overrating and underrating Marcus McGee. I am going to take Peter Yan by decision, 29-28. Peter does start all of his fights pretty damn slow, but what helps him is he gets going, and then he makes those last 2 rounds look just extra dominant on his side, and that helps him in the eyes of the judges. I think he could potentially even win the first round here. They're pretty similarly sized, excuse me. Just a small advantage in reach for McGee. McGee is going to have the speed advantage, I believe, but Jan's got the technique and the experience. I think McGee, I'm a big fan of Marcus McGee. I think he's pretty chill. But he's 35 years old, and he's only been fighting professionally since he was 30. I don't think he's got the experience. A good thing for him is that he doesn't have the wear and tear of someone who's usually 35 years old in the bantamweight division. I don't think it's going to help him against the more experienced Piotr Jan, who's got championship experience. I'm going to take Peter Yan by a 29-28 decision. Could even be a late round TKO. This one's going to be fireworks, though. Both of them are really high volume strikers. On Prize Picks, I picked the combined strikes to be over 140. Could end up just being one-sided Piotr Yan domination. I guess we'll see, but super excited. All right. I don't like picking against Robert Whittaker because he's my favorite middleweight of all time. But look at this guy. He's got the freaking Toon Force on his side. The dude's only lost that, roided up Anatoly Malkin, or what the hell his last name is. the double champ from one championship. He's proven me wrong almost every fight. I've picked against him two out of the 3 times he's fought in the UFC so far. I only picked for him against GM3, but I thought Bo Nichols, obnoxious prospect plot armor, was going to win. I thought Kevin Holland was potentially going to. Actually, I don't know if I picked him. I think I did pick Kevin Holland. Actually, yeah, I did. I picked Kevin Holland to knock him out, and that aged horribly. The dude's just got plot armor, and I want to see Reiner de Ridder versus Ricus du Plessis. I think people are saying that Robert's going to knock him out. I don't see it. Reiner hasn't really been like flatlined or even really TKO'd bad, especially not in a long time. Robert's only, again, Robert Whittaker's my favorite middleweight of all time. His only knockout in the past like 7 years or something is short notice Ikram Aliskerov. I think when they get into the cage, the size appearance is going to be significant. The dude is 4 inches shorter than Reiner. He's got the 5-inch or 4.5-inch reach disadvantage. He's actually got league reach advantage. But I think Reiner is going to take him down. I think they're going to fill each other out. He's going to make it ugly in the first 2 rounds. I think in the 3rd round, Reiner's going to take him down, get Rob into a bad position, and ground and pound TKO Robert Whittaker. And again, I think Robert has potential to make this a 5-round, just similar to like a Marvin Vettori kind of just domination. I think he has that in him still. But I think after his probably the worst loss of his career against Khamzat Chimaev, just more in terms of brutality, I think it's going to make him a little bit more hesitant, especially against a grappler. And I think the size appearance is going to be different. I think Reiner's going to make it really dirty, and I think he's going to win by TKO in the 3rd round. That'll be it. In the comment section for the YouTube video, tell me what do you agree with, what you don't agree with. I'm going to be streaming on Twitch tomorrow from the beginning to the end, reacting to